And Michelle, I do want to make reference to this Newsweek story that Trump will start the end of the world, claim evangelicals who support him. And 2 paragraphs from this article, evangelical Christians overwhelmingly support Donald Trump because they believe he'll cause the world to end. Many evangelical Christians believe that Trump was chosen by God, that's how I opened the program, Franklin Graham, to usher in a new era, a part of history called the end times. Well, as a side note, he doesn't usher the end times in. They've been around for quite some time. Beliefs about this time period differ, says Newsweek, but it is broadly considered the end of the world, the time when Jesus returns to earth and judges all people. But evangelical Christians threw their full weight behind the decision. Currently, over half of all American evangelicals support Trump's presidency. They also support the announcement about Jerusalem. And then it goes on to say most evangelicals subscribe to premillennialism, actually not most because of the belief in amillennialism. And then they conclude, for his evangelical supporters, there is a sense that Trump's unlikely election to the presidency proves he has been chosen by God. Again, this is all Newsweek. He shouldn't have won the election, so the thinking goes, so the fact that he did and the victory that came only via the Electoral College, no less, just demonstrates that only God could make it happen. Michelle, you and I have talked about this election. We talked about it right after the election of November 2016, and what happened was a God thing. But another perspective here, and that is he's going to bring about the end times. Well, wish we had that kind of power and authority, but you and I don't have it.
Well, how arrogant and really how important does Newsweek think that believers are?
I know.
It is God who controls the times and the epochs. We cannot delay, nor can we advance his timetable. This is God's timetable. We agree that the book of Daniel says that it is the Most High God who lifts up who he will to positions of authority and takes them down. So we prayed, of course, we wanted to have someone in who would represent biblical values, even if in his personal life he lives a certain way. And I think that I'm extremely grateful that Donald Trump won. I don't know one person that I have talked to who is a committed, born-again believer in Jesus Christ who has said to me, I want Donald Trump to win because he's going to bring about the end of days. There is no one who has said that. Only God has his timetable and his calendar. The reason why we want Donald Trump in office is because he would be good for the economy. His positions on Israel were great.
Right.
All of these various positions, and he's delivered on it. The left is going crazy right now because there's so much success coming out of the Trump administration. They have to bring up all these lies so that people will turn their back on him.
Well stated. And I want to hit one more topic here in this short segment we have. And folks, we're going to continue this next weekend. And you and I both, Michelle Bachman, have a burden for a subset of people on this planet, persecuted Christians. And I am just delighted that in the last year, actually more Christians who are fleeing the Middle East are coming in as immigrants than Muslims. You and I live in what's known as Little Mogadishu, Minnesota. Here, lots of Somalis here. But do you think, is it possible, and you're particularly with your United Nations role and all, you're able to get a better pulse on this than I have. Is it too late for Middle East Christians? I mean, again, more coming into America than Muslims right now. Is it possible that it's not too late for them?
Well, it's not too late for them. It's just a matter of where are they going to live. Christians have been chased out of the Middle East. It's very, very difficult, if not impossible, to be a Christian in Pakistan, for instance. Yeah. To be persecuted would be mild. To be killed is more likely what's going to happen. And that's what we've seen. With the rise of Islam, rather than being seen as a, quote, religion of peace in their backyard in those Muslim countries, they have literally chased out, persecuted, killed, and subdued Christians in those areas. When it comes to Jews, it's worse. Jews are being killed, and they've been driven out, so there's no Jewish presence in many of the 57 Arab nations that are over there. So then rather than displaying tolerance and an ability to get along, just the opposite has happened. It's been pushing out Jews killing them, but then now it's pushing out Christianity. So think of this, the birthplace of Judaism and the birthplace of Christianity. We are seeing people who follow Islam pushing those other two faiths out. It's a very ugly place for Christians right now in the Middle East. Yeah. Thank God they're being allowed for the first time to come into the United States in a big way, because under Barack Obama's era, he was bringing Muslims, perpetrators, into the United States, and those who were the victims, Christians, were being forced to remain in these countries where they were persecuted and in some cases killed.
I think another area of intrigue here in this first year has been how the current administration has dealt with the media. I want to play a quick...
Which I love.
I know, I do too. I want to play a quick sound by John Bolton is actually attacking or attempting to talk sense to the leftist media. This happens to be about the Iran deal. If we don't have time to talk about it this hour of this program, we will next week, because the Iranian deal is significant. It could go away. But I just want folks to hear someone who's tackling the media and kind of throwing it back in their face.
Well, I want to come back to your comments. I'm going to be a little bit more direct here. I think what you said is offensive and inappropriate. You are a munchkin in the media, and you may have your opinions, but I think your job is to try and present the news accurately and not editorialize. If you'd like to tell me where you think the president has behaved in a way you disagree with, let's have an example of it, and I'd be happy to deal with it.
Okay, what in particular are we talking about? Are we talking about what's happening with Iran?
You said the president slips. You said the president slips in and out of deals. What's your problem specifically?
My problem specifically is that we were talking about Iran. I was saying he wants to get out of the deal that the United States has done as far as Iran is concerned.
There's nothing slippery. There's nothing slippery about that. It's entirely appropriate when a country realizes it's made a strategic mistake or circumstances have changed to get out of an international agreement. I can give you any number of examples. President George W. Bush, for example, quite correctly took the United States out of the 1972 anti-ballistic missile treaty so that we could have a national missile defense capability to protect against the likes of Iran and North Korea. That's not slippery. That's operating in the national interest. You think Britain is slippery for getting out of the European Union? Maybe you should call your whole country slippery.
Ooh.
Really,
so Peter, I don't know. Okay, you've had your say, Mr. Bolton. We're going to come back to you in just a second. Calm down. I may not be a munchkin, but I'm certainly beyond, I'm a little bit lower than average.
My point with you, to make it very clear, is that I think you're unprofessional. I think your comments were uncalled for.
Okay.
And maybe you think that's your business. Now, perhaps you'll let me finish this time.
Please.
I just don't think it advances, thank you, I don't think it advances the cause of informing your listeners.
Okay.
Michelle Bachmann, I wish Donald Trump would take Ambassador Bolton into his administration. You think there's a possibility of that happening?
Oh, I think all of us have. I love John Bolton. I've known him for years. I think he would make a tremendous Secretary of State. He would make a tremendous head of the National Security Agency, and I'd love to see him in any of those positions. He was our former ambassador to the United Nations. He did a great job when he was the ambassador, and I think he handled himself very well. When you see the media going to the point of advocacy for the left nonstop, and when 95% of all of their questions are hostility to the Trump administration, you have to push back. So he handled that very well. Remember, with the Iran agreement, at least President Trump wants to act in the best interests of America and America's national security. That isn't what Barack Obama did as President of the United States. He has hurt American national security. Shouldn't that be something that the media should be devastated about, the fact that our national security was impaired under the hand of Barack Obama? Now we finally have a president who cares about America and wants to strengthen our interests. That's a good thing, and it's time that we push back, and I think munchkin is a good word. These are pipsqueaks in the media, and we cannot allow them to be elevated as if they're important.